Hello, I'm going to talk to you about the basics of the Ecollar from the box to your dog in less than 10 minutes. So you're going to get everything out of the box. You have the collar, the remote, the charger, and a couple of other little doodads that I'll talk about at the end. So first thing you want to do is you want to turn your Ecollar on, and the way that you do that is you turn it over, and this big round button, you're just going to press it in for 2 seconds, and then you'll see it light up on the front. See it? Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this red button right here, and you're going to match it up to this. You see this red button? Right next to it is where you're going to match up. So you just kind of swipe it across there, and you see the green light. That means your collar's on. When you're done training your dog, you need to turn off your collar, and you're going to hit this button again and turn off the remote. So now that we're up and running, and you'll know that this is on by the green light. Swipe it across. There you go. There's your green light. And this is on. So this dial goes from 1 to 100. And usually, just to scale it for you so you understand like how low level we're talking when I train a dog, we're usually training anywhere between 2 and 6. And most people can't even feel that sensation. Okay, and then if you're outside and there are distractions, you will need to go higher just to communicate to your dog, because the more adrenalized your dog is, the higher on the remote you have to go to get, you know, to tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, pay attention to me. And then on the side here, there are 2 buttons. So the top button is your momentary button, which means when you press it, it gives momentary stim. So watch when I press it. See the red light? And I'm still holding the button down. Now the red button that I recommend is the continuous button. So when I hit that, see, the stim is ongoing until I let up on the button. So press it, give stim, let up. Okay, that's the continuous button. That's the button that I use. On this side is your tone button or vibrate, and that's a nice little interrupter. So if your dog starts to dig or something and you don't have time to dial up or whatever, you're just going to interrupt it and say knock it off. And if you hold it, it pulses. That's really cool. So the way that you're going to use this handheld is this way. So I have my index finger and thumb on the dial, and that's how I dial up. And then I use my middle finger to give the gas, okay, on give the stim. So dial up, dial down, and hit the stim. And that's kind of how you're going to be dialing. The collar, you're going to put it on really tight on your dog. If it seems too tight, it's probably just right. So it's going to fit at either 4 o'clock or 8 o'clock. The headlight should be going out. And you're going to put it snugly on the dog, and then you just need to make sure that the fur is peeled back so that the contact points are on the skin. All right, so for a thick fur dog, it comes with these longer contact points. You'll need to switch those out. There's a little tool that you can do that. It's just, you just unscrew these contact points and you screw on the other ones. I will do that for you or show you how to do that if that's needed. So once this is on, you're going to rotate it every 4 to 6 hours and just check the dog's skin to make sure that there's no irritation. And always take this collar off when the dog is unattended. So when you go out, or if you put the dog up in the crate, take the collar off, give the dog a break. And then the way to charge it is you there's this little rubber plug right here. Just pop that out, plug it in. Same for the collar. Peel it back, plug it in, and then you're going to charge this overnight. To make things easy, I just charged it Monday, Wednesday, Friday overnight, and then it's good to go. They give you a couple of things here. This is a little clip that you can put on it so it's easier to hold, and you can unravel this and you can wear it around your neck. So it just makes it a little more convenient. I also like to use just a little carabiner. It's easier to clip to my jeans or something like that. So that's another thing you can do. And they also have really cool accessories at ecollar.com. Some things that you'll find with the Ecollar, some of the settings can get changed accidentally if a button is pushed. Like if you go to put this in your pocket, you'd be surprised. The button can get pushed and then all of a sudden you'll be like, why are the numbers jumping around, or why are the numbers locked? And that's because there is a locking mechanism here, and I'm going to show you how to lock it and unlock it right now so that if that happens, you know what to do. So if you press this dial down, see how that red light went off? That's going to lock in the number. Whatever number it is, when you press this down, no matter what you do now, you're locked in at that number. So if you start working with your dog and you notice, hey, I'm dialing up, but it's stuck on the same number, that's because somehow this got pressed down. What you want to do, and all you need to do, is just press it down again, and you see that red light? And now it's unlocked and the numbers will dial up and dial down, and you can't see it because of the glare of the light, but they are now dialing up and dialing down. So that's how you lock and unlock a setting. And I would never recommend locking in a number. That is just not something that you do, because things always change with our dogs and the environment and the distractions and all of that. So you just manually adjust accordingly, okay, to your dog. So I don't recommend using that setting. The other thing that can happen is this button back here. You'll see it has an M/C on it, and it corresponds to these two buttons. So this is the momentary button, remember I told you, and this is the continuous button. So if I hit this button, well, let me just show you. First of all, right now you can see an M and a C, and that means that the momentary and the continuous buttons are set. But if I hit this button, this little one back here, it now just changes both of these buttons to momentary. So no matter what, the red button becomes, oh, and this is off now, but the red button becomes the momentary button, and the black button is also a momentary button. So that can really throw off your game if you're, training and you're like, why? And you're holding the button down and you're not getting anywhere. So see, now the red button is the momentary, and so is the black. So what I'll do is I'll hit the small button again, and now what'll happen is you'll just see it just has the C on it. So now both of these buttons are continuous, right? You want an M and a C on the front, and the way to get that is this is the M and the C button back here, and now you'll see I have moved it back to, there's an M and a C. So this is the momentary button and this is the continuous button. And I just wanted to show you those two things because this can cause a lot of trouble for people, and they think their e-collar is broken and then they're afraid to use it. The other thing I want to show you, and this happens occasionally when you just put it in your pocket, this dial will get pushed in and this button will get pushed in. And what happens then is it sets this to boost. So you'll see right now it's at 10. And if I go to hit that, you can't see it because it's lit up, but it jumps up to 15. It actually adds 5 to the number that you have set. So that's a boost function. I don't like using that, and I just want to make you aware of it in case you think, hey, I set that to 10 and then when I hit the button it jumped to 15. And if that ever happens, all you do is you hit the little button and the dial. You have to press the dial down and you have to push in the little button simultaneously. And then you're back to your normal number. So that covers the basics. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, just contact me. And remember, make sure you're using this every day so that you and your dog get really good at it. And that way you guys are going to have a lot of fun off leash and on leash. And if you have any questions, of course, just contact me.